So you've landed an invitation to the Emirates Assessment Day, or there's an open day in your town. Congratulations, well done. Now what? I've gotten so many questions about what's the open day look like? What should I expect in the assessment day interview? So I put together this video guide to help you understand what the difference is between an assessment day and an open day, to help you understand as well what you should expect on that day, and also to give you a few tips on what you should do or what you should not do in order to perform well during this interview and hopefully get the very coveted cabin crew job. Before we begin, may I please just ask you to like and subscribe, because that really helps me and it will help you get more videos like this if you're interested. First of all, what is the difference between an open day and an assessment day? Basically, the open day is a day in which everyone can go. It's open to everybody. And an assessment day is an invitation-only event where, the selected candidates go through different interviews and evaluations. And basically during this day, they shortlist people for the final interview. What's the open day like? So at the open day, the first thing that happens is that you need to drop off your CV. You're basically giving the CV directly to the recruiter, and they're going to ask you a few questions. One of the most common ones is, why do you want to be a flight attendant? Or why do you want to work for Emirates? So for those two questions, I would be prepared in advance. But then they might ask you a few, personal questions as well that only you can answer. They're going to take a look and they may ask you something from your resume. That's why I always say, don't lie. Just tell the truth. And you'll be fine. That's the first thing. And the second thing I would recommend would be prepared. Don't memorize, but be prepared. So, for example, why do you want to work for Emirates? Well, I want to work for Emirates because it's the biggest and most luxurious and best airline in the world. Whatever it is you feel, whatever the reason is why you want to work for Emirates, be honest, be genuine. Don't be afraid to joke a little bit, appropriately, of course, but just be real, be you. So the next stage is going to be a presentation about Emirates, and what it's like to live there, what it's like to be cabin crew, what their expectations are from you. So from what I remember, and I think they still do it this way, is that they pull up a bunch of chairs, they make you watch this big screen, and they basically, show you what it's like to live in Dubai, what it's like to work for Emirates. I remember they also shared this song that was sung by cabin crew. Make someone stay. Make someone stay. Make someone stay. Make someone stay. I felt like I was in this Simpsons episode where Homer joins a cult.
Hey, I don't know about you, but they're not exactly winning me over with these lousy production values here. I'm gonna slip out.
You're free to leave whenever you want, but would you mind telling us why?
Kidding, I didn't. Or did I? But anyway, you watch the videos and then you move forward to the group activity. So for the group activity, you will get a creative problem solving task. I remember that they separate the groups and they come and they watch and they listen to see what you're saying and how you're talking, and they want to see how you work with your team. So my advice, first of all, it's to prepare by practicing common group exercises, and that's how you can be prepared. So Google that. And the other advice I will give you is to do not talk too much. Do not stay quiet. Find the fine line. It was something that I saw a lot in exercises for upgrades as well, that a lot of people feel like they have to be the only ones who talk, right? And that's not the case. I mean, they do want leadership. They do want that. But remember, you're not going to be walking into that aircraft as a leader, you're going to be in the bottom of the food chain. You're going to be food. I'm kidding. But you are going to be at the very bottom of the chain of command. That means that you're going to have to receive orders left, right, and center, and you're going to have to listen to people. However, you do have to be able to speak your mind, say your piece, respect orders, but say your piece. Because, and this happened to me a lot as a supervisor, sometimes the new crew or the crew who just came out of training or crew who are, who have been in economy, for example, for a while, they have the best ideas. They have the best insight. So I would always listen to people's opinions, and I would ask people, so what do you think we should do here? Like, what do you think is the best course of action here? I really mean it. And they would sometimes come up with a better idea than the one I had. And I was like, you know what, let's do that. That's much better. So I think it's important to show them that you can listen as well as take orders, as well as say your piece. So the best way to the best way to prove that is to listen to the question, say your piece. If no one's talking, if someone else wants to talk, if you're like, stepping on someone else to talk at the same time, just say, oh no, please go ahead. And then after they say their piece, just paraphrase, say, oh, that's interesting what whatever your name is said. Actually, that could be a good idea. Or actually, that's interesting what you said. Interesting will always save you. And then say, I also think that blah, 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 blah. And you say your piece and your idea, right? That shows that you're respecting and listening to others, but that you're also going to say your piece in a very respectful way. So, you'll also have to, agree with everybody or make everybody agree with you, or you kind of like find compromise. So keep all those things in mind. Don't get too nervous about this. You'll know how to go, but just keep that in mind. Listen, paraphrase, don't talk too much, don't stay quiet. That's basically it. Then you're also going to have a reach test. By the way, the order could change a little bit. This is the order that I found they do now on the internet. So the order of the things they do could change. I don't think they will, because Emirates is very like with everything they do, they want it perfectly done. But yes, they will do a reach test. They'll make you take your shoes off. And yeah, you have to reach, when they're going to put a piece of tape on the wall, and you're going to have to reach with the tip of your hands. It's going to be at 212 centimeters. And if you're wondering about, what Emirates requirements are, I did a video about that last week, and you can find it right up here. I think it's right up here. Is it right up here? It's up here somewhere. Anyway, take a look at that video after this one so you know what the requirements are. Next, they'll do English and personality tests. They basically want to know they are not hiring psychos. I want to say that I feel like they've sometimes failed at this, or people have been able to trick them very well, because I've flown with a few people that are like, wow, let me just tell you, they're just on another level. Not everyone, but every now and then you find that person who's like, how did you get hired? Like, it makes absolutely no sense how you got here, honestly. But, anyway, I also feel like flying makes you a little crazy after a while. I mean, look at me. Now I've always been crazy. Next, you've got the group discussion. Before it was group activity, now it's group discussion. And this is the one that I really remember. And they make like a big circle, put everybody there to talk, and they give you a problem scenario. The advice I give you here is to focus on customer care solutions and to be prepared to present your ideas clearly. I remember that one of the people that went with me to do the interview, who was someone who was working with me at my job that I had at the time, was kicked out during that stage because they got very nervous, and mostly he couldn't really express what he wanted to say that well. You couldn't really understand. So I recommend that you practice talking in front of the mirror in English, just so that you're, in English, if English is not your first language. I mean, if you are only an English speaker, of course you're only going to speak English, but practice public speaking. I would record myself if I were you. You have your phone, just record yourself talking, see where you can improve, make sure that you're not rushing, that you're articulating, that people can understand. If you're not a native English speaker, watch movies in English with English subtitles, read in English, just English, guys, I can't say it enough, because it's going to give you more confidence to, be fluent, or as fluent as you can be in the language in which they're asking you to express yourself in. If you've made it through all these steps, congratulations, because that means you've made it to your final interview. From my understanding, now the final interview is conducted online. And from what I remember of this interview, it's they ask you a lot of personal questions. For example, at the time I was in university, and they asked me, oh, what's going to happen with your studies? What are you going to do with them? Are you okay with leaving your family? You're going to have to, leave them and move to the other side of the world. And I remember the way I replied, like I was just basically very relaxed. Honestly, rarely am I this relaxed in a situation like that, but I honestly didn't think that I was going to go to the interview, even less that I was going to make it to like the final stage. And I honestly think the reason why was because I was very chilled, because I didn't think I was going to get the job. So I was like, got nothing to lose here. Don't even know if I want this job. I remember I joked with them. I walked out of that interview knowing that I got the job. It was a really weird feeling. And I got the call a few weeks after. And that's a wrap. If you've made it all the way until the end of this video, congratulations. And please drop a watermelon emoji so I know that you watched it all. I wish you the best of luck. And of course, please like and subscribe if you like this video. I really hope that you do really well and just chill, believe in yourself, practice makes perfect, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.